You've been told to chase her, win her, earn her love like a knight seeking favor from a queen. But what if everything you believed was a lie? What if the pursuit itself was a trap? Not for her heart, but for your soul. Today, we reveal what he whispered. Truths buried beneath centuries of illusion. This isn't advice. It's a warning. Because once you hear what was said, you will never look at women, or yourself, the same way again. He sat alone, not in arrogance, but in agony, a man torn between the need to love and the need to remain whole. He watched men crumble, not from war, not from poverty, not from fate, but from a single kiss. He watched empires fall not from rebellion, but from seduction. And he asked a question too dangerous for public philosophy. Is the woman we love real? Or is she just the reflection of our own despair? The world wasn't ready, still isn't. But he wrote it anyway. And now, so will we. They lied to you. From birth, from storybooks, from sermons and silver screens, they filled your head with a myth. That she would love you as you love her. That when you give your heart, she will give hers in return. That your sacrifice would be seen. That your loyalty would be rewarded. That your love would be enough. But it isn't. It never was. She does not love like you do. She never did. You love with your soul, like a knight with a sword. You love with loyalty, consistency, devotion. But her love, it is not a mirror of yours. It is a reflection of something else entirely. It is a dance, not of hearts, but of hierarchy. She does not love who you are. She loves what you represent. Power, mystery, strength, status, self-possession. And the moment you lose even one of these eight, the moment your certainty slips, or your ambition dulls, or your hunger softens, her attraction begins to rot from within. Slowly, quietly, without warning. You will not notice it at first. She will still smile, still kiss you, still say, I love you, but something will change. Something you can't name, but you'll feel it. A coldness behind the warmth, a delay in her response, a quiet judgment in her gaze. Why? Unresolved. Because the man she loved is no longer standing in front of her. You thought she loved you for your soul. But it was your direction that made her feel safe. It was your indifference to her approval that made her crave it. It was your distance that made her come closer. Now you are soft. Now you are available. Now you are kind. Too kind. Always present. Always apologizing. Always explaining your dreams to someone who only loved you when you didn't need her understanding. She didn't fall for your tears. She fell for your silence. She didn't fall for your poetry. She fell for your restraint. She didn't fall for the boy who loved her. She fell for the man who didn't need her. And when that man disappeared, so did she. They won't tell you this. Not your friends. Not your mother. Not your teachers. They'll say, be honest. Be vulnerable. Be emotionally available. But vulnerability without value is repellent. Emotion without edge is boring. Availability without mystery is death. You believed love was unconditional. But for her, it never was. She loved you because of the mask, because of the armor, because of the climb. She admired the man who stood at the edge of the abyss, not the one who crawled back just to be held. You want her to stay, to see you, to understand. But the truth is brutal. She cannot love what she does not admire. She cannot admire what she does not fear losing. And she cannot crave what she already owns. They told you to chase her, to impress her, to win her heart like a soldier storming the gates of a castle. And you believed them, didn't you? You believed that if you just showed her how much you care, she would care in return. That if you gave more, she would give back. That if you loved louder, she would love deeper. But she didn't. She pulled away. She went cold, something unresolved. She became distant. Not because you didn't do enough, but because you did too much. Yes. The paradox that breaks most men is this: something unresolved. The more you chase her, the less she wants you. Let that truth rot in your chest for a second. Let it tear through your illusions. You see, it was never your affection that made her desire you. It was your absence. It was not your love letters, your midnight text, your constant affirmations. No, it was the uncertainty, the hunger, the doubt. It was her not knowing if she ever truly had you that made her chase harder. Do you understand now? The feminine does not want the man who kneels. She wants the man she can never quite catch, the one who slips through her fingers, even while holding her hand. She wants the storm, not the shelter. She wants the man who could leave but doesn't. Not because he needs her, but because he chooses her. Every time you explain yourself, every time you reassure her over and over that you'll never leave, you drain the very mystery that made her heartbeat stutter the first time she saw you. She did not fall for your predictability. She fell for the unknown, for the silence, for the look in your eyes that said, "I don't need you. I want you." But you forgot that. You gave her everything: time, energy, attention, devotion. And in doing so, you made yourself ordinary. You became known, available, easy. And in that moment, the hunt died, and so did her desire. This is not cruelty. This is nature. Feminine desire feeds on doubt. It breathes in the tension between craving and confusion. She doesn't want a man who follows. She wants the man who leads, even if that means leading her into uncertainty. You tried to be romantic, but came across as desperate. You tried to be loving, but reeked of need. You thought chasing her would prove your strength, but all she saw was a man running from his own emptiness. What she truly wants, what she'll never admit, is the man who can walk away, the one who looks her in the eye with a calm fire and says, "I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to beg. I am the storm you either ride with or run from." She will test you, not once, not by accident, not because she's cruel, but because she must. It is written into her instincts. Deeper than language, deeper than love, deeper than even she understands. She is not testing your patience. She is testing your essence. She needs to know, before she submits, before she admires, before she fully trusts, what kind of man stands before her. She needs to know, can you be broken? You think it begins with words, but it never does. It begins in subtle gestures, a delayed reply, a sarcastic tone, a public correction meant to sting just enough, not to destroy you, but to poke you, to watch your reaction, to see, will he flinch? Will he retreat? Will he collapse into apology, into softness, into validation seeking? And if you do, even once, a shift happens. She will never tell you. She won't say a word, but she feels it, the change. Her respect falters, her desire weakens, her admiration decays like spoiled fruit, because the truth she just discovered is that you bend. You are not unshakable. You are not feared. Yes, feared, not in brutality, not in violence, but in consequence. She must feel that if she disrespects you, something will happen. Not a scream, not a slap, something colder, sharper. The silent withdrawal of your presence, the slow disappearance of your warmth, the quiet vanishing of your attention, not as revenge, but as nature. Every insult is a trial, every provocation a test of your spine. Do you hold frame? Do you respond like a king, or react like a boy? You must understand, the man she respects is not the one who listens to every emotion, not the one who softens every time she cries, not the one who validates every chaos that erupts from her lips. No, she respects the one who remains centered, unshaken, even when she throws emotional lightning at his chest. Because if you do not hold frame, if you do not stay rooted, she will take your place. She will become the dominant force, not by choice, but by instinct. She will resent you for making her the masculine one. And then, she will begin to destroy the thing she no longer respects. Do you see it now? She doesn't want to lead. She wants to lean. But she can only lean if you are built to carry it. If you crumble under her pressure, she learns. Not that she's too much, but that you're too little. And once she sees that weakness, once she feels that softness where strength should be, something ancient awakens in her. The instinct to pull back, to doubt, to test again harder this time. Look around you. Modern man has fallen, not by sword, not by poverty, not by war, but by worship. He does not worship God. He does not worship virtue. He does not even worship greatness. He worships her, not a real woman, not flesh and soul, but an image, a fantasy, a digital idol cast in silicone and filters, the soft voice in his ear, the naked skin on his screen, the validation in her eyes that he is willing to trade his entire masculinity for. They taught him that she is the prize, that his worth is measured by how well he serves her, praises her, adores her, protects her, that he must be gentle, that he must submit, that he must be safe, not powerful, soft, not strong, understanding, not dominant. He is lost, empty, drained, ashamed of his own desires, terrified of rejection, addicted to approval, stripped of edge, aggression, polarity, the very thing she secretly craves in the man she pretends to fear. You see, no man can worship a woman and remain a man, because to place her above yourself is to place yourself beneath everything. Your purpose, your ambition, your sovereignty. He bends, he pleads, he gives and gives. Time, attention, money, energy, and still, it is never enough. She grows colder, more distant. She looks at him with contempt, even as he drowns in devotion. Why? Because worship is not love. Worship is desperation. And desperation is death. She may say she wants it. The constant attention, the sweet texts, the hourly check-ins. But deep down, she despises it. Because instinctively, she knows any man who places her at the center of his universe has no universe of his own. And a man with no universe ache cannot lead her through hers. So she tests him, disrespects him, sabotages him. Not because she wants him to suffer, but because she wants him to wake up. She wants him to stop kneeling, to rise, to stand firm, to command, not through violence, but through presence, through purpose, through the quiet fire in his eyes that says, I will not beg, I will not bend, I will not trade my manhood for a moment of warmth in your arms. But he can't say it, because he doesn't believe it, because no one taught him, because everything around him, media, school, friends, mother, society, has programmed him to believe that his power is toxic, his dominance is abuse, his ambition is dangerous, and his masculinity is something to be cured. So he silences himself, he softens, he withers. You were never meant to kneel, never meant to chase shadows or beg for love dressed as approval. What you've heard today is not hatred. It is clarity, a brutal mirror held to the modern man's soul. She is not your enemy, but if you do not understand her nature, she will become your undoing. Stand up, reclaim your edge, love without losing yourself, lead without apology, desire without dependency, because the world does not respect the man who surrenders his crown. It respects the one who remembers who he is and dares to act like it.